Hey guys, so as the AI race continues to evolve and go on, there's this sort of slight, tiny, you could call it like this tiny proxy battle that's being fought between the big AI companies right now, and this battle is who can get the most government contracts the fastest. So some of the big bread in the AI industry is definitely in the government side of things, selling AI to government entities or defense contractors or whoever it may be. It's a pretty big deal, and it's definitely a very sizable market. The government likes AI and wants to push for more of its usage. One of those places that is starting to really get interested in AI usage is the Department of Defense. And OpenAI just won a $200 million United States defense contract with the DoD. So we're going to go ahead and cover it in today's video. Let's get right into it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and read this article by CNBC. OpenAI won a $200 million contract with the Department of Defense. A lot of the work will be taking place in the Washington, D.C. area, so I guess if you're willing to get a security clearance and you want to work on AI stuff, take a little bit of a peek for job listings over at OpenAI in Washington, D.C. if you're at all interested. And in December, they announced a partnership with a defense tech startup called Anduril, I think? Anduril? I don't really know how you pronounce that, I'm not going to lie. But they announced a partnership with this defense tech startup to deploy advanced AI systems for, quote, national security missions. So they were awarded with this contract to provide the DoD with AI tools. It is a one-year contract, and this is months after OpenAI said it would collaborate with Anduril, which I don't... See, here's the one thing I want to point out about these AI companies. I've seen a lot of these companies out there, so I'm just going to call them those AI companies. The reason I say that is because right now they're kind of a dime a dozen. For example, there's another company called Palantir, and they do a very similar thing. They do automation for basically... I don't know. They're a little vague on what they do. I've done some digging, and basically the... long story short about what they do is they do automation, and one of the things they do automation for is, military operations, like combat and stuff. They also handle stuff like factory work and a lot of other things. They've actually been around for quite some time, but I think they were incorporated sometime in 2003, but they've only gotten relevant sometime around now, so now is when they're actually most important. Again, their main bread and butter comes in with the military stuff. They make this software called Gotham, and long story short, it's an AI-driven combat assessment tool. It's actually kind of neat. Obviously, I probably can't figure out what exactly everything it does for pretty obvious reasons. But basically, you can have out a map, see where your enemies are, see where all of your deployments are, get ideas as to where you need to put things, targets, etc. Basically, it's AI-driven warfare, and it's pretty well made. But they're as a company, they're very vague about what they do. They don't go into extreme detail. Similar with this Anduril company. They all kind of have very similar branding styles, and they don't get into the heavy specifics about what they do. So, that's why I call them those AI companies. But that's besides the point. Let's continue on with this article. So OpenAI is going to collaborate with this defense technology startup to deploy advanced AI systems for national security missions. So, quote from the Department of Defense, under this award, the performer will develop prototype frontier AI capabilities to address critical national security challenges in both warfighting and enterprise domains. I know what warfighting means, but what does enterprise domains mean? I'm kind of curious about that. If you know what that means, leave it in the comments down below, because I don't know what that means in a defense context. But alright, anyways. Maybe giving it to other countries or like agencies, NSA, CIA, I don't know. Basically, it is the first contract with OpenAI listed on the Department of Defense's website. So this is OpenAI's first government contract with the DoD. This isn't their first government contract altogether, but it's their first DoD contract, which is a pretty big deal. It's a sizable contract. It's $200 million. And this is just a one-year contract. This is like a trial. This is like the DoD's equivalent of a free trial, but it's not free. It's $200 million. This is like playtime. This isn't even the serious business yet. Wait until they might actually like it, and then they sign like a 20-year contract for like a couple billion or something, right? But basically, under this contract, they're going to develop a prototype system or systems for handling security challenges. Similar as well, Anthropic said it would work with Palantir, which is a company I brought up earlier, and Amazon as well, which is interesting, to supply its AI models to U.S. defense and intelligence agencies. I don't know what the status of that is. I don't know if Anthropic has a government contract with the DoD right now or not. But apparently they're working on getting them government and defense ready, which takes a lot of effort, by the way. Any kind of technology you make and want to put it in the defense industry, you have to go through rigorous effort to get it approved for use in the defense industry. You have to go through some seriously insane effort because they don't mess around. If they want something to be top secret, they want it to be top secret, and that any even ounce of data that slips through the chain needs to be in a system that they think is secure. So you have to go through a rigorous amount of effort to get your stuff into the defense industry. So Sam Altman said in a discussion with OpenAI board member and former NSA agency leader Paul, I'm not going to pronounce that last name because I'm going to butcher it, at a Vanderbilt University event in April that, quote, we have to and are proud to really want to engage in national security areas. That's kind of a mouthful of a sentence, but anyways, basically they're eager to go into the national security industry, and basically they're like, yep, we're going all in. And furthermore, OpenAI said that the contract represents the first arrangement in a new initiative that they call OpenAI for Government, which includes the existing ChatGPT Gov product. OpenAI for Government will give U.S. government bodies access to custom AI models for national security, support, and product roadmap information. So basically, they're going to say, hey, U.S. government, we're open for business. Here we go. We're going to make custom solutions for you, just for you. And this is one of the biggest AI companies out there right now. So this is it's a pretty big deal for them because they're already the number one, but now they're even more the number one because now they have this whole initiative where the U.S. government can basically just use AI, just ba-boom, right there. You can just go ahead, start using it right now. And it's really interesting. They're providing AI as a service for the government. And if you know anything about how the U.S. government handles technology, you know that it's a pain. To get anything like usable within like a federal setting, there needs to be rigorous amount of approvals that happen. For crying out loud, the U.S. government barely even updates their servers and like computers because they don't want things to go wrong because of a newer version. They stay as old as they possibly can because they know it works. Like, you have to go through rigorous amounts of effort to actually get something through. You really, really, really do. So it is admittedly very interesting to see that OpenAI is kind of getting the fast track treatment here, and they're getting way in, and they've gotten DoD contracts, and everything's all lined up and ready for them to go. And they're going head first into this. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. One thing I do want to point out is, since they're getting into the defense industry, this is where we have to have another conversation of AI ethics and whether or not it's ethical to have a computer make war decisions, because that's what's going to inevitably end up happening, is a computer is going to be making war decisions. And you now have to ask the question, is that all that ethical? That's a good question, and it's a hard one. It's one of in a series of many hard to answer questions about AI ethics that we still need to figure out and determine. especially now that this is getting better and better as time goes on. Other questions include copyrights, privacy concerns, etc., etc. There's a lot of questions that need to be asked here when it comes down to AI and ethics. And now that we're going to be putting it in the defense industry and we're going to be putting AI on the war lines, we now need to ask, is this ethical to do? And it's debatable. Let me know what your opinion is on this in the comments down below. I'd love to hear it. That is about it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Take care, you guys, and remember to stay safe out there.